I never thought my marriage would end the way it did. I believed in love, in commitment, and standing by the person I vowed to spend my life with. But sometimes life has a cruel way of showing you the truth, one that's been hiding in plain sight all along. I met Lisa when I was in my late 20s. She was beautiful, smart. She was beautiful, smart, and had this way of making everyone in the room notice her without even trying. At the time, I felt lucky, like I had won some sort of lottery by being the guy she chose. We had fun, we laughed, we had our ups and downs, but I always believed that deep down we were in this together. We got married after 2 years of dating. Everything seemed fine on the surface, but I always had this nagging feeling that something was off. She wasn't affectionate the way I imagined a loving wife would be. She never really made an effort to strengthen our relationship. It was as if she was just going through the motions, doing what was expected. I chalked it up to stress, to life, to routine, but I never stopped wondering if she truly loved me. Then one night I got my answer. We were having dinner at home, just the two of us. I don't even remember what led to the conversation, but suddenly she sighed, put down her fork, and with a blank expression said, "I married you because I had no better options." At first I thought she was joking. I even laughed a little, expecting her to roll her eyes and say something like, "Oh, you know I love you." But she didn't. She just stared at me as if what she said was the most normal thing in the world. I felt my stomach drop. "What?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "You're a good guy," she said, shrugging. "Stable, reliable, you take care of things. But let's be honest, if I had met someone better, someone more exciting, more successful, I probably wouldn't have chosen you." I sat there stunned. Every moment of our relationship started replaying in my mind. The lack of passion, the way she never looked at me the way I looked at her, the way she never seemed fully invested in us. It all suddenly made sense. For years, I had been giving my all to someone who saw me as nothing more than a last resort. I didn't say much that night. I simply nodded, finished my meal in silence, and excused myself to the bedroom. But inside, something shifted. I had spent years loving a woman who never truly loved me back. And for what? Because I was afraid of being alone? Because I thought I couldn't do better? That night, I made a decision. The next morning, I told Lisa I wanted a divorce. She didn't fight it. In fact, she barely reacted. "I figured this would happen eventually," she said, sipping her coffee, like we were discussing weekend plans. And that was it. A few months later, we signed the papers, and just like that, our marriage was over. It hurt at first, of course it did. But it wasn't the pain of losing her. It was the pain of realizing how much time I had wasted on someone who never truly valued me. But life has a way of rewarding those who take the risk to choose themselves. A year after my divorce, I met Emily. She wasn't flashy, like Lisa. She wasn't the kind of woman who tried to impress everyone in the room. But from the very first moment, I felt something I never had before, genuine warmth.
Emily saw me. Truly saw me. She laughed at my jokes, even the bad ones. She cared about my dreams, supported my ambitions, and never made me feel like I was just an option. One evening, as we sat on the couch watching some terrible reality show, she turned to me out of nowhere and said, "I feel so lucky to have you." I nearly teared up, not because I needed validation, but because for the first time in my life, I was with someone who chose me, not because she had no better options, but because I was her best option. So if you're in a relationship where you feel like you're just there, like you're being tolerated rather than cherished, don't be afraid to walk away. The right person won't settle for you. They'll choose you every single day. Love isn't about convenience or finding someone who simply fits into your life. It's about mutual admiration, respect, and the kind of connection that doesn't make you question your worth. You deserve to be with someone who looks at you and sees their best choice, not just the only option left. Sometimes leaving the wrong person is the only way to make space for the right one. It may take time, and it may not happen overnight, but when you finally meet someone who loves you fully, without hesitation or conditions, you will realize why it was worth the wait.